Welcome to my channel Utsav and Kala, and today we are going to make this felt rose flower, and this is how it looks like. As usual, all the materials will be in the description. Please check them out, and also do not forget to check all my felt flower tutorials. I will have the link in the description for them. So let's get started with our tutorial. First step is to make this stem. If you want to make the rose onto the stem, and I have already shown how to make this stem on my other felt flower tutorials, like the sunflower felt sunflower tutorial and the felt tulip tutorial. You might want to hop onto those videos. I will have the link for those videos in the description to see how I made this stem, and then I will move on with and then we can move on with the next step. Done making the stem. The next step is to make the smallest petal for the flower, and all you need to do is take a strip of red felt, and this is too thick, so I'm going to cut it down, probably less than half an inch, approximately half an inch, but I would go even less than half an inch in width. So just cut a thin strip, and then you will cut tiny rectangles. So here I have cut tiny rectangles, and then I'm going to show you how to make the petals. So we'll take one of the rectangles and make a curve cut, so it cuts off both the edges of both the corners on one side, and then turn the rectangle over and then cut both the corners on the other side. Then on the top part, we're just going to make a tiny V to give it a little bit of shape, and we'll cut a little bit inside to give it like a heart shape. And this is how the petal looks like, and you're going to make approximately 7 to 8 small petals. So go ahead and make the 8 petals, and I'll show you next how to attach these petals to the center of the flower. So to start forming the flower, you need to take a very tiny strip of red felt. I have no measurements for this, but this is really like about 1 finger in length and really skinny. You can use this, can be taken out of any scraps you have left over. Take the hot glue and add some to the edge of the strip, and then place the stem onto the hot glue right here, and then start rolling the felt. And then all you're going to do is add more hot glue onto the strip, and then keep rolling it. Okay, so this is how it looks like. The next step is to take all the small petals, and I have a lot more than I would need, but I just cut out some extra, and I can always use them for my other roses that I'm going to make. So just add a little bit of hot glue onto the center that we have just created, and then place this petal onto the hot glue. Then add a little bit of hot glue on the other side. You're going to overlap it with the next petal. So take the second petal and overlap it a little bit with the previous petal and press it down. Keep on repeating around. I think I would go around twice. So I'm going to finish going around twice with the petals and come back and show you how it looks like. And then we will move on further with our medium petal. So this is how it looks like, and this is our center, and the smallest petals attached to the center, and it's all ready. Now we are ready to move on to our medium petals. On to the second layer of petals, and it's going to be a slightly larger than the previous one that we made, and this is about 1 inch by 1 inch, probably a little smaller than 1 inch, when we get it cut through, it is going to be smaller than 1 inch. So we'll take our scissor, cut the corners from one side, and then cut the corners from the other side, and then just make the top a little wavy, and bring this a little in to make it look like a heart shape, and then cut a slit through the center from the bottom part. Then we are going to take the hot glue and just slightly touch the glue gun to the felt. Don't even squeeze out no glue, because you don't really need that much glue. And then take the other side of the slit and put it onto the other one and stick it together. So this is how the second layer of the petal looks like. And I have already made right here, I have already gone ahead and made about 9 to 10 petals. I haven't counted, so 10 petals. I have 10 petals here. And then we'll take our flower. We already have the center ready, and then you'll add hot glue to the edge of one petal and the edge of the other petal, the smaller one, and then stick the medium petal onto there. One more time I'll show you. Take a little bit of glue, hot glue on one side of the petal, and go ahead and add a little bit on the other side. You will, to overlap the petals, add some hot glue onto the first petal, medium layer petal that we placed, and then stick the second petal onto the flower. Okay, and this is how it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and add all the 10 petals. I might not add all 10 petals, but I'll go ahead and add petals one round and see how much more I need, and I'll come back and show you how it looks like. This is how it looks like once you have attached the second layer of petals. And you can stop here if you want to make a smaller size petal, but we are going to add one more layer petal, which is slightly bigger than the second layer of petal. And here I have a square or a rectangle, or just a square or rectangle, whatever you want to call, by 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch. So that's a square, but it's not proportionate. That's okay. And when I cut it down to a petal, it'll still be a little smaller than the actual size. We're going to cut this petal in a similar way as we cut the previous two petals. Just cut the corners on one side, make it round, and then cut the corners on the other side and make it round. Then just give it a wavy pattern on the top, and just make it a little skinnier from the bottom, and then cut a slit in the center right here. And then we'll take our hot glue and just don't even like squish the gun. Just rub the nozzle of the glue gun onto the felt, and then stick the two edges together. And this is how the third layer of petal looks like. It's almost similar to the first one, it's just slightly bigger. And I have cut about 7 petals. All I do is take the length of the strip and then cut the size of squares, and how much ever makes from one strip, that's the amount of strips, that's the amount of petals I make. Now we are going to take our flower, and as in previously we did, we're just going to add hot glue to the petal on the second layer of petals. Take one of the third layer petals and then place it onto the second layer of petals right here. One more time, and to overlap it, we are going to add some hot glue onto the third layer petal, and then add more glue, and then take the petal and then attach it to the second layer of petals. So this is how it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and add all the petals and come back and show you how it looks like. So here I added the third layer of petals, and I only used 6 petals instead of 7. So one is a leftover, which I will which I can use it on my other roses that I'll make. So this is how it looks like. The next step is to make the calyx for the flower, and we're just going to take a scrap piece of dark green felt. You can even use any color green that you have. It doesn't have to be a specific color. And all we're going to do is make a star from this piece of felt. And as I have mentioned in my previous videos, felt flower videos, that I don't draw the star onto the felt, but if you are not comfortable cutting the star directly from the felt, you can always draw the star and then cut along the lines. But I really don't want it to be perfect. I just want it to be random shape, and so I'm just cutting it off directly. The next step is to fold the star in half and cut a tiny slit in the center of it, right here. So here you can see the slit in the center. We're going to take this flowers with the stem and then pour this star through the stem. So just bring it all the way to the top of the flower, and then do not add glue to the calyx, but add it to the back of the flower, and right here, and then bring the calyx down and stick it properly. Now you can keep this hanging in this way. You don't have to stick the petals down, but I like to stick my petals down. So all I'm going to do is add some glue to the end of edges. And stick and I'm going to finish it all around and then come back and show you how it looks like. So here I have attached the calyx of the flower to the flower itself, and this is how the flower looks like from the front and back. So to make the leaves, here I have a scrap piece of green felt, and you can use any color green felt that you have, but I have the dark green. It was a scrap piece left over, so I'm just going to use this one. To make the leaf, first I'm just going to cut out the basic shape of the leaf without any detailing. Okay, and that's the basic shape of the leaf. And then now all I'm going to do is cut out I'll detail the leaves. So I'm doing it freehand, but you can always draw. Like I've always mentioned that I like doing it freehand, but you can draw with a pen and then cut on the lines. But I like doing it freehand. How the leaf looks like. And I have made one more leaf. So we'll make about 2 leaves. You can make 3 or more if you want, but I'm going to make 2 leaves. And we'll take our rose and place a little bit of hot glue right at the bottom, just a line in the center, and then place it onto the stem onto the hot glue, and press it down. And then we'll take a little bit of hot glue, just touch the tip of the hot glue because it's already hot. So it has some hot glue there. You don't have to squish any more hot glue onto it. And then stick it down. And then similarly, you'll take the second leaf and again place some hot glue right here at the bottom. And go a little bit down and press it down. And similarly, how we did it earlier, just press the nozzle onto the felt. You don't really need that much hot glue, just brushing it here and there, and then you can stick the whole thing together and fan it out. Here is our completed rose, and to give it a little bit of embellishment, I added a pearl in the center of the flower, and this is how it looks like. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please give me a thumbs up if you did. share this video with your friends and family. To stay tuned with all my latest DIY tutorials, subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit the bell button so you can be updated with every new videos that I post. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.